History has been made. It's true. It's true. Your boy Rich is back and history has been made. The Senate approves marijuana legalization bill with dozens of amendments. My goodness. Your boy Rich, we break all the news and we break it first. The Senate has approved the Trudeau government's landmark legislation to lift Canada's 95-year-old prohibition on recreational cannabis. I say, pardon? Wow. A 95-year-old prohibition on recreational cannabis. But with nearly 4 dozen amendments that the government may not entirely accept, Bill C-45 has passed in the upper house. That's right. Bill C-45 has passed in the upper house. It's unbelievable. It's true. And of course, your boy Rich, I gotta break it first because that's just what we do. I mean, we break it first, right? Wrong? I don't know, but call it whatever you want, man. Bill C-45 has passed in the upper house by a vote of 56 to 30 with 1 abstention over the objections of conservative senators who remain resolutely opposed. Of course. Of course. Someone has to be opposed, right? Unbelievable. This is unbelievable. I don't know what you guys think about this, but this is huge news. This is the news that we have been waiting for in Canada for 95 years. So I'd love to know what you guys think about this. I'd love to know what you guys think this is going to mean for the markets. The bill must now go back to the House of Commons, where the government will decide whether to approve, reject, or modify the changes before returning it to the Senate for another vote. Well, I think we know which direction they're going to go. I mean, 56 to 30 is pretty good, right? 56 to 30 is pretty good. Oh my goodness, this is historic. I mean, I don't really know what to say right now. It's historic. And to be a part of it. Let's just see what the news says here in the marijuana index. I'm sure it's breaking news everywhere. You can see what happened in the United States and in Canada today. In anticipation of this news, nothing here, huh? So your boy Rich is breaking it first from the start. Once past Health Minister Jeanette Petitpas-Taylor has said that provinces and territories will need 2 or 3 months to prepare before retail sales of legal cannabis are actually available. Wow. Oh my goodness. Is this actually happening? Is this real? Most of the Senate's amendments are minor, but about a dozen are significant, including one to allow provinces to prohibit some cultivation of cannabis if they choose. All right, all right. Happening to be in British Columbia, don't think that will be happening over here. But I do hear that that will be happening in provinces like Manitoba and Quebec. But it'll be interesting to see which provinces are going to do things differently. But it's interesting that they're giving the provinces the opportunity to choose. Hey, you're willing to make money, you know? You're welcome to make money like everybody else. If you choose not to make money, then that's your choice. There's a big pie here. You're welcome to take a piece of this pie. If you choose not to take some of this pie, you don't have to take any of this pie. It's really up to you. The ball is in your court. But this is real. This is breaking news. This is revolutionary news. This is something that has not happened in 95 years. Okay? Most of the Senate's amendments are minor, but about a dozen are significant. So we have to really, focus on this. Petipaz Taylor has refused to say how the government views the many amendments, but it appears to have given its blessing to at least 29 of them, which were proposed by the sponsor of the bill in the upper house, Senator Tony Dean. This is breaking news. You heard it here first from your boy Rich, because that's what we do. We break the news first. And it's Bill C-45. I got to put this somewhere here. Bill C-45 needs to be like a tag or something. Bill C-45. What's going on here? So, I don't know what you guys think. I'd love to know what you guys think about this news. I think this news is absolutely huge for the markets. I think this is the type of catalyst that anyone who's been investing in these stocks has been waiting for. I know it's the type of catalyst that I've been waiting for. So I'd love to know what you guys think. Please smash the like button. It really helps to get these videos out there, to get the videos viral. There is a Rich TV Live revolution that is happening, okay? It's true. All these picks that you guys are seeing here, I brought these picks first, okay? I brought T-God first. I have all the videos. I got all the proof. I got all the evidence to prove it. I mean, we can just take a look at it. If you guys want to see the T-God videos, a company that's up 100%, and your boy Rich brought it first, Hey guys,
It's Rich.
And
I'm back to talk about the green organic Dutchman.
I bring these winners first. I bring you guys the info first. So please smash that like button, subscribe, okay? It helps. We're bringing the news before anybody else, right? The Senate has approved marijuana legalization bill in Canada. The Toronto Star. This is a 95-year-old prohibition on recreational cannabis, which has just been approved. It's called Bill C-45. It has been passed in the upper house by a vote of 56-30. So this is breaking news. This is huge news. And you heard it here first from your boy Rich. And let's see if anybody else, let's just see if anybody else is following this. Let's just break this down. The Globe. Let's see their view on this. Ramdad says, I think this is great news. Majority government can do anything. APH will run 20%. Yes. Hey, guys, comment. I want to know what you guys think. This is huge news. I agree. This is massive news, and I'm excited about it. This is what we've all been waiting for. The Senate has approved the Trudeau government's landmark legislation to lift Canada's 95-year-old prohibition on recreational cannabis, but with nearly 4 dozen amendments that the government may not entirely accept. BC 45 passed in the upper house late Thursday by a vote of 56-30, with one abstention over the objections of conservative senators who remained resolutely opposed. Here it is, Bill C-45, Cannabis Act. Government Bill C-45 proposes to legalize access to cannabis while controlling and regulating how it is grown, distributed, and sold. The bill would also make changes to the Controlled Drugs and Substances Act, the Criminal Code, and other acts. It has been adopted by the Senate. This is from their Twitter account. Vote result on third reading of Bill C-45 as amended. Yaes 56, Naes 30, abstentions 1. Wow. Unbelievable. What do you think? Rob says it's big news. Yes, it is big news. Please, guys, let me know what you guys think. I want to know your opinion. Do you think this is the type of groundbreaking news that can move the stocks? If so, how much do you think they can move? Which stocks do you think will be affected by this? Let's take a look at the markets, okay? All you got to do is go to Rich TV. We got all the stocks there. We got all the resources you need for cryptocurrency and stock education. If you go under stocks and you go to Trading View, let's take a look at some of the stocks. They were explosive yesterday. Today was very mixed, but most everything was disappointing. It wasn't very exciting. But let's just take a look at one of the picks that I brought to you guys first. Let's take a look at the Green Organic Dutchman. So I brought this before anybody else in the universe, and it's been just a massive winner. The Green Organic Dutchman. It's been the most successful IPO of 2018. Bar none. The most successful IPO of 2018. The Green Organic Dutchman. And let's take a look at this chart. It's a thing of beauty. 1 month chart. Look at that. Now, I marked this IPO for you guys. And since I've marked this IPO, this is where I bought it, guys. Look at what it's done. It has been a resounding success. Up 120%. That's correct. 120% since the IPO. So, TGOD is a big winner. It's true. And when you find a big winner, you usually go home with chicken dinner. And this one right here, TGOD, has been nothing short of sensational, and with news that the Senate has approved Bill C-45, what do you think will happen in the markets tomorrow? What do you think will happen with T-God tomorrow? It's an exciting time in Canada, all over the world. Canada is now positioned to be the world leader in cannabis education, distribution, research, hemp, CBD. Canada's positioned to be the world leader in cannabis, CBDs, and hemp. And the Rich TV Live revolution is real. We have been bringing this to you guys now for a year and a half. And I brought you guys all the winners first. I brought you guys Canopy Growth Corp when it was like a couple bucks. I brought you guys Canopy Growth Corp last year. And what has Canopy Growth Corp done? And you know the best thing about this is I get a chance to actually track the success of all the companies that we talk about. So as we talk about these companies and we watch these companies, you can see the success and how we've been watching them and how we've been tracking them. And we've been able to buy low and sell high and buy low and sell high. And you can learn to take advantage of trends. And you can see when we first started watching Canopy Growth Corp, how much of a success they have been. And what will they do tomorrow as the leader? And I call them the LeBron James of medical marijuana stocks. What will they do as the leader right now in this space? And the company that I've been talking about probably the most since day one that I've been investing in since it was at $1, is Aurora Cannabis. It's true. And I love Aurora Cannabis. Everyone who knows me knows I love Aurora Cannabis. You can see I've been marking them for over a year. And you can see they were marked at $2.49. I've been buying them before that price. You can see they've been as high as, they were as high as $15. And right now they're at $9.64. And this is still a bargain. This is a company that owns MedRelief. This is a company that owns over 50% ownership in hemp, Hempco Food and Fiber. This is a company that owns ownership in the Green Organic Dutchman, 17% of the Green Organic Dutchman. It's true. So these are companies that I think have huge potential, and these are monsters that are positioned to become global powerhouses. So we will continue to mark them, and we will continue to watch them, and we will continue to monitor them. But the reality is they are just getting started. I see a day where Aurora Cannabis will be trading at $100. And can you imagine? I brought it to you guys when it was at like $1.50. You can go back and see all the videos. It's true. They're all right there on Rich TV Live. They're all right there. Let's read some of your messages. Order of the True Force says, keep an eye on Africa and Uruguay. This will repeat on those countries as well. I agree. Great point. Me, myself, and I says, this is great news and will attract institutional investors down the line. I hope the US follows Canada's lead and legalizes cannabis. Well, you think Mr. Trump doesn't have that card in his pocket? Mr. Trump knows he has that card in his pocket. Balls So Hard says, I want to see what Kron is going to do tomorrow. Yeah, Kron. I love Kron. Let's take a look at Kron. Are they at the bottom? What's up, David Modell? How you doing, my friend? What do you think about this news, David? David, if you want to call me and talk about this news, call me, brother. Anybody that wants to give me a call right now and go live and talk about it? Attila, if you're watching, you want to go live? I'm live, peeps. Let's do this, man. I've been waiting for this my entire life. I don't know about you guys, but this ain't no joke. This is a revolution. This is the Rich TV Live revolution. It's real. The Rich TV Live revolution is a real thing. And Attila, feel free to give me a call, brother. Order of the Force says, the US does not like to be left behind in any competition. To all of you who invested in cannabis, congratulations. Yeah, it's an exciting day. I think my friend Attila right now is shedding a tear. He told me yesterday he would shed a tear. Oh, the phone is ringing. It is Attila. Let's see. Attila.
Hey, Rich, how are you? everybody. It just happened.
Oh my goodness. Can you believe this?
Unbelievable, man. I'm just so happy it went through. You know, there was a little bit of doubt there, but, you know, we can't be sure about everything that these government people do, but thank God it's happened. This is what we've been waiting for. I am shedding a tear.
I knew
Tears
it.
of joy, buddy. Tears of joy.
I knew you would, man. I knew you would. I'm not shedding a tear, but I'm really, really excited. And I think this is just, you know, the beginning of something special. And for us as investors to be a part of it, you know, we get to be a part of something, you know, historic, and we get a chance to ride the wave. And we're in early, man. We're in early, man.
I'm so happy we're all in. You know, everybody in the group that we have, the chat group, you know, I congratulate everyone for hanging in there, holding on, not selling, you know, hanging in there. Congratulations, everybody. I'm just so happy for everyone.
Yeah, you know, and I want everyone to know, listen, you know, feel free to message me. I will not respond by text on YouTube because, quite frankly, they don't let me to. They don't allow me to. So that's the only reason why I'm not responding to messages, if you guys are wondering why I don't respond. But the reality is, if you have a question, I will respond to your question verbally, okay? So please, if you have a question, if you have a comment about this historical day, if you have a question about it, if you have a concern about it, please let us know. I know Attila is in Ontario. I'm in Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. So we're kind of covering coast to coast. And this is a pretty historical day for investors and people that are in the cannabis industry, whether it's hemp, CBDs, cannabis. What do you think about this? What do you think about the fact that, like, are Canadians able to grow their own marijuana now?
Well, not all Canadians. For sure, Quebec will not be able to. All the provinces will decide the way they want to see their own rollout of the regulations, but you know they're not all going to be identical. People or the separate provinces will implement their own regulations, and some will be 19 years of age to smoke. Some are 18 here in Ontario. It's going to be 18. I think in BC it's 14. I'm just kidding there, Rich. In BC, I think it's 18 also. I think it's going to be 18 years old. Do you know for sure whether that's going to happen in BC, whether it's an 18-year-old age for buying the legal marijuana?
You know what? I don't know. I have to, you know, I'm learning just like everybody else, man. I'm breaking this news as it happens, man. So, I honestly don't know. I'm reading it as fast as you're reading it. You know, you were watching. So
yeah.
what was your take when you were watching?
Well, I was, you know, there wasn't any video, so it was just audio. But actually, some of the comments that were being made actually were quite kind of mind-numbing as far as I'm concerned. A lot of the stuff they brought up was, you know, about children and the exposure to the marijuana and the brain damage that can occur. And, you know, we have all the science. We have all the scientific evidence as to what marijuana does to people. And I think they've come up with the age that's satisfactory. And, you know, a lot of them claim that a lot of these state senators making comments claim that, you know, it's not the greatest thing for Canada's youth. And they see only problems with it. But, you know, we know from the United States, so in all the early legalized states there, marijuana use has actually dropped 2% in those states. And although, you know, it's making a tremendous amount of money, but they don't, and even the under the influence driving has not even become a serious concern over there. So, you know, I think, you know, there's just a lot of people here in Canada that they are concerned about, you know, let's face it, we're legalizing a drug. Meanwhile, we've legalized alcohol, which, in my opinion, can be some of the most destructive. You know, alcohol is extremely destructive. We've seen tons of families be destroyed over it, people's lives people becoming alcoholics. I see that very closely. Just recently here and where I'm living, there's a tremendous amount of alcohol abuse over here. And to tell you the truth, I think this is a benefit for Canada because, as in other states, Rich, down in the U.S., a lot of people have moved over from drinking alcohol and are now their choice of drug now is marijuana and not alcohol anymore. So I think it's a positive thing.
Yeah, well, there's some people that are against it. Like prior to the vote, senators spent almost 6 hours giving impassioned final pitches for and against legalization. Conservative Senator Dennis Patterson, who represents Nunavut, said easy availability of this mind-numbing drug will be devastating in remote areas where vulnerable indigenous populations are already ravaged by addiction, mental health problems, violence, and suicides. I believe and I do fervently hope I'm wrong that we will pay an intolerable price that we will regret. Oh, that's some crazy words.
That's a little overkill what he said there. I don't agree with him at all.
Hold on. I'm not done. Check this out. It's not finished.
I heard his comments. I listened to the whole thing.
Well, let me finish. Let me just finish this last point. There will be casualties. There will be mental illness. There will be brain damage. There will be deaths. Wow. Wow.
Yeah, like I said, extreme overkill about those comments he made. I'm surprised that he embarrasses himself by saying such a thing live, and for all of Canada here. But I could hear people laughing all over as he was making those comments because I think it was like tremendous overkill. Sure, let's face it, adults that have children, they're a little concerned, but you know what? We all end up making our own decisions as adults. There's really no one that can really stop what we want to do, what we want to try. There'll be people who have never smoked it and are going to want to try it and then may not even be interested in it. But then there's the diehard people that have been smoking it for years, like myself, who to this day is just a historic event, and it's just the most beautiful thing that could happen to this country. It's going to be, bring a tremendous amount of wealth to this country and a tremendous amount of medical benefit for the people who need it.
And you don't think there's anything negative that can come out of this?
I personally think, yes, you're going to have people who are driving under the influence that may get into accidents, but I personally think that most people will probably not drive under the influence of anything, and hopefully most people don't, but let's face it, we keep making our alcohol laws stiffer and stiffer and stiffer every year, and we just don't get the message, it seems. It doesn't matter. Nothing stops us from getting behind the wheel, regardless of how much alcohol you had. The more alcohol you have, the better the driver some people believe they are, that's mind-altering right there, as far as I'm concerned. Anyone who believes that they can drink, 12 beers and get in the car and drive better than not under the influence, it's just total ridiculousness, right? And that's what I believe is mind-altering. The fact that you talk yourself into believing you're a better driver under the influence of alcohol. Now, again, getting back to this problems with the marijuana thing, there will be problems here and there. But let's face it, Rich, this is, the black market's been around forever. People who want marijuana are going to continue to get marijuana. Nothing's going to stop people from getting marijuana. But as far as the driving's concerned, I think it's overblown. I think they're blowing it a little out of proportion with the, driving under the influence. Yes, a lot of people will drive under the influence. I will admit myself, on your show here live, that I myself have driven while under the influence of marijuana. I've never had an incident. Not a thing ever incident. I didn't bump nothing, didn't hit nothing. So I don't know. I think it's just overkill with the comments about, you know, the impaired driving and killing lives and killing society. I mean, it's just way overblown. These are people that are just totally against marijuana. So we're never going to be able to change their individual minds. But regardless, I think this is a historic event. This is the greatest thing that could happen for our economy and for medical patients who need this kind of medicine that is not, you know, extremely addictive. Like the medicines that we take now are extremely harmful to us. And marijuana is a far lesser form of medicine that's not addictive and not as harmful as the drugs that are prescribed to us for whatever ailment we may suffer, because every one of them have side effects.
So let's talk about this bill here. It says most of the Senate's amendments are minor, but about a dozen are significant, including one to allow provinces to prohibit home cultivation of cannabis if they choose, rather than accept the 4 marijuana plants per dwelling allowed under the bill. Quebec and Manitoba have already chosen to prohibit homegrown weed, but the amendment would erase the possibility of legal challenges to their constitutional authority to do so. What do you think about that?
I don't know what to think of that. You know, I think it's a God-given plant. It's a plant that's been put on this earth. I mean, yes, it's not native from within this country, but regardless, it's, you know, it's on this planet. It was meant for us to use, and we're going to use it for its positive effects, medical especially. So, but you know, this growing of the plants, yes, there's I don't know how to perceive that, because I think it might be a good thing for the industry as far, and it could be because, again, somebody mentioned that it's all about the money, right? If you don't allow them to grow their own marijuana, then that's just more money in their pockets, in the government's pockets. So I don't know how they're going to see that, but I think, you know, it's already been announced that in Ontario they're going to allow the 4 plants, and I expect that to kind of stay that way. But so far, like you said, Quebec, Manitoba has opted out of this zero tolerance for growing the marijuana, and Quebec is actually going to be pretty hard on the driving under the influence of marijuana. So they're going to be playing hardball in both those areas. Driving under the influence and growing your own is they're going to zero tolerance for both in Quebec.
Well, it's going to be very exciting to see how it all gets shaken out. This is an exciting day. What do you think for the markets tomorrow? You expect green?
I'm expecting green, buddy. I'm expecting green. You know, I've talked to you about that before. This is the kind of day we've been waiting for, and I think this is the kind of day that institutional investors have been waiting for. Because I don't know if they're going to jump in right away. They may actually wait for the official date for legalization, and I've said to you before, Trudeau's has said this also, and it was also even mentioned in tonight's comments that we could still see a July 1st date for the implementation of legal weed.
That would be amazing.
That's still a possibility.
That would be absolutely amazing.
Yeah, I don't want to have to wait until August or the end of August or September, like some people have been saying. You know, there's a lot of politicians who don't like the marijuana, have been doing everything in their power to delay or prevent and prolong this process. So I'm just so glad that it's obvious by the numbers in the vote that the majority of this country believes that, you know, we're not doing something so terrible here. You know, it's accepted widely in Europe. They're using it already tremendously for medical purposes. It's accepted in a lot of places. Israel for medical purposes. You know, some of the world's greatest scientists who've been doing, you know, research on marijuana for over 50 years come from Israel, and they know more about it than just about anybody.
It's a very exciting day, and I'm happy that we can share it together. We've been on this journey now for like a year and a half, This is probably one of the most exciting things that we've ever come across in this industry. We didn't have a catalyst like this last year, but we saw incredible growth last year. Do you anticipate that we're going to see some incredible growth in the stocks here coming up?
I can't see it doing anything else but see some incredible growth, because this is going to bring on the institutional investors who just were reluctant to put their money into this industry until it was actually cut in stone. Well, today it's been cut in stone pretty well. I don't know if they're going to wait until the actual legal date to jump in, but it doesn't matter to me. I really don't care. When that happens, July 1st, August, it doesn't matter to me. When the institutional investors jump on board, I think we're going to see those stocks reach the kind of levels, and maybe not in such a short time, but I think some of them will see some tremendous increase in their shareholder value.
It's a beautiful thing. I'm looking at it right now. Bill C-45 of the Cannabis Act. Government Bill C-45 proposes to legalize access to cannabis while controlling and regulating how it is grown, distributed, and sold. The bill would also make changes to the Controlled Drugs and Substances Act, the Criminal Code, and other acts. It's got a check mark. It says adopted from the Senate of Canada right on their Twitter page. And it's just such a beautiful thing. It doesn't even seem real. It does not.
I'm just blown away by it. I'm just still in disbelief. We knew this day was coming, and thank God it's finally arrived. I've been on this journey with you too, Rich, and it's been a long time coming. We've talked a lot about this industry, and we've seen a lot of stuff going on in this industry, and there's still more to come. I mean, it's still kind of in its infancy if you really think about it, because there's so many. Health Canada still has to. They have so much backlog of licenses to address that we're going to have there's going to be a lot of opportunities here for years to come. Now, in this discussion that they had, they say that they want to reevaluate after a 5-year period the entire industry to see whether they have done the right thing and made the right move, which just happened today. So I think they're going to readdress this. I don't think that there's ever going to be once it's done, it's done. I think you can't go back. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of people were against alcohol. I've said this time and time again. We use alcohol for everything. Birthdays, parties, celebrations, any kind of events, weddings, funerals, you name it. We use alcohol for everything. And, I'm not going to lie. I enjoy a drink here and there too myself, but, my preferred method of medication would be the marijuana.
Well, I think that it's an exciting day. Some people have been asking if they can buy CBDs. We have the ability to distribute CBDs throughout Canada. We are right now just working with Health Canada to get everything approved. If you want orders, just email me at richtvlive@gmail.com. We can't do America or anywhere else in the world yet, but we are working on it. So as soon as we can do that, we will let you know. The CBDs are very popular. They've really kind of gone faster than we ever anticipated. So we're really making huge strides in that area to ensure that we have a product there that can help people in so many ways. It's such a revolutionary product, CBDs. There's so many great things that are going to happen because of this legalization. A lot of people want to look at the negative things, the mental illness and this and that. But what about the people that have mental illness that need this to help them?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a far less addictive drug. There's several marijuana companies out there that are working specifically on pain medications, which, we obviously, the world knows there's an opioid epidemic going on, and marijuana is going to help solve a lot of the opioid problems that we're getting involved in now. So hopefully that'll ease the opioid, the misuse of these fentanyls and the
what do you think?
The Oxycontin and terrible drugs, terrible drugs.
What do you think about Aurora Cannabis? I know it's one that I love. I know it's one that you love. What do you think? Because I know based on my research, they have not done anything until recreation was legalized. That was their mandate. So based on the news and the information, how do you think that's going to affect Aurora Cannabis? Because I think they're going to go haywire. That's my personal opinion.
For sure. That's back to all the things that they've done already. You know, everything that they've done so far, like the acquisitions they've made, you know, it's just endless. Like I can't even keep track with all the acquisitions and partnerships and you know, strategically, you know, getting involved in Australia, Europe, Germany, you know, and that's going to be a great thing. As a matter of fact, you know, I'm thinking right now, Rich, that, you know, you mentioned your CBDs. CBDs are going to be an extremely big industry. CBDs is going to change, you know, the world of attitude towards, you know, health products as far as, you know, vitamins and stuff goes. I think it's going to be, you know, a wonderful thing for everyone to take the CBDs, the non-psychoactive part of the marijuana. So, but just going back to your actual business, you were talking about entering the USA, but I'd try and get into Europe because I'll tell you, in Europe, they're gonna love the CBDs. You know.
Well, we're trying to go all over the world. We're in the process of trying to get approval from Health Canada. Our CBDs have 100% bioavailability. That means that when you take our CBDs, 100% of it gets absorbed into your body, as opposed to the CBDs that most people are selling that typically have about 6% bioavailability, which means we're putting our CBDs on the shelf at a level that can't be duplicated. Because of that, there's a lot of people that want to work with us. We are in the process of getting clinical trials. Once we get the clinical trials done, we will be the only CBD company in the world that has.
Do you have that formula patented, or are you patenting that formula for the CBDs?
Yes, that's the process of having a global patent. So that's what we're in the process of doing, and there's a huge opportunity in this industry. There's so many ways that people can get involved. A lot of people think it's just the stocks, and I'm like, man, the stocks are fun. Like, believe me, I love it. It's fun. Yeah. And it's exciting, especially when you're in early and you can just watch the show and get your popcorn ready, right? But the reality is, at the end of the day, there's an opportunity here for people to have their own dispensaries, to have their own licenses, to have their own grow operations. There's opportunities for growers. There's opportunities for scientists. There's opportunities for groundbreaking research and technology that's going to be changing the world. And companies like Aurora Cannabis, Canopy Growth Corp, Afria, the Green Organic Dutchman, Suniva, CanTrust. These are just some of the companies that are leading the way, and they're going to continue.
That list is getting endless almost now too, Rich. As time goes on, it just gets bigger.
Well, one of the questions here is, how will the dilution impact the profits for Aurora? I believe that the dilution was being done because Aurora did not want to sell recreationally, and they didn't want to sell marijuana until recreational was legalized. That was their mandate. This news that this is becoming legal is what they have been waiting for. They are now going to start to grow, to start generating revenue, and I think this is going to turn the corner for the company. I believe what the company was doing was strategically utilizing its shares as a public vehicle, which is essentially the reason why companies go public in the first place, is to utilize the shares to acquire other companies. And what did they do? They acquired MedRelief, a $28 stock. They acquired Canamed, another $20 plus stock. They acquired a big portion of Hempco Food and Fiber, $1.70 stock. They acquired a portion of RTI, Radiant Technologies. They acquired a portion of the Green Organic Dutchman, the IPO that I brought to everybody first that's up 120% in a month. They're making huge acquisitions. They're using their shares to do this. They haven't even started to grow yet. Now that this is legal, I believe they are going to really capitalize as much as anybody on this news. And I believe they are going to become a global powerhouse. That is my opinion.
You know, at the price that they're at right now, I can't see anyone not wanting to invest in Aurora, especially with all those acquisitions, everything that they have behind them, the European, the international partnerships that they've made is just, it's going to catapult that stock. It's going to be, like you said, Rich, it's easily going to be $100 stock one day. And I don't think so much in the, you know, the distant future.
Well, I mean, it's crazy. Like, they acquired MedRelief, and MedRelief is at $28.
I know. I could never get over that, you know. And that, you know, not just MedRelief, but, you know, Canamed, same thing. You know, they acquired them through, I think Canamed was actually a tremendous amount of shares, stock, but then there was also some cash involved too. So, but regardless, you know, they're using their shares to acquire, and that's kind of what Canopy did too. And that's you know, let's face it. Look at Canopy. Their shares are what, $40 today, 39 and change. They reached over 40 today.
I believe they came down a little bit at the end. I think they finished the day at 39. But you know, they
come down a bit. But
they've been up and down. I mean, they were up. Let's take a look at it. I mean, it's going crazy. But yeah, they were up as high as 41, I believe. Yeah, they got to about as high as 41. So yeah, you know, Canopy. Like I said, I've called Canopy since the day one. What did I say since day one? What did I call them? You know what I called them.
Yeah.
What do I call them? Yeah. What do I call them, Attila?
Oh, LeBron James from marijuana.
And they are, right? They just they just always keep just pumping it down, right? They just pump it down, pump it down, pump it down. So it's like they're at $39. And you know, a little company from Smiths Falls, Ontario. This is what I try to keep explaining to people. People are like, "Oh, Aurora Cannabis is this monster." I'm like, they come from a little town of like a few thousand people. Okay, they're not a monster. They come from a tiny little town. They're
not far from me, actually, Rich. You know, so I've been there and I've seen the building they operate out of. So it was just a small building, you know, to start. So
well, that's what I'm saying. People think that they're a monster. I'm like, no, they're not a monster. They're just the first guys. They were a small fish in a huge pond, and they just overtook everybody because they made all the right moves. They didn't dilute their stock. They have a good share count under 200 million. I think it's very close to 200 million, just like 198. But they're still not overly diluted like the way Aurora is, close to a billion shares.
Share count.
Right?
I like the share count.
That's the share count that seems to work. That's the sweet spot. And all the companies that have a share count of 200 million or less seem to be trading at higher prices. All the companies that have the 300 million, 400 million, 500 million, a billion, they're the ones that are struggling and are having.
Oh yeah, the billion. The guys with the billion scare me. You know what I mean? They're gonna go. They're gonna do some kind of a reverse eventually or something. I mean, they're gonna have to do something. But that share, that number of shares that they put out is just way too much. That's something like that I stay away from.
Well, you know, you know, Aurora Cannabis has almost 1 billion shares. You know that, right?
Aurora has almost 1 billion. Have they reached 1 billion yet?
No, but they're close to. I'm gonna pull it up right now. It's close to 1 billion shares.
You know, I still, you know, but then again, for a company that size, I don't know what to think. You know.
Well, it says here right now. I guess these are not updated figures because of maybe the transactions haven't gone through yet fully officially. But I believe once the transactions with MedRelief are completed, they should be close to 900 million shares. It says currently on Stockhouse they're at 564 million shares. But I believe it's higher than that, and it will be higher than that after all of their acquisitions. So, you know, it's a lot, you know, and then...
Yeah, it is a lot, but what doesn't scare me, the reason it doesn't really terrify me so much, because I love Aurora, I love the company. Why I'm not so terrified is all those shares are with all the acquisitions they made. I mean, you know, they bought a pharmacy in Germany. You know, these people have spent a shitload of money and you know, ton of acquisitions. left, right, and center. I can't even recall them all. There's just so many of them that they've done. So, they needed the shares to do that. So, but they will be a powerhouse. They will be a powerhouse in the industry. And I think they may need those shares to stay that way. I mean, everything that they've acquired. Look at all the the Canamed, Med Relief. I mean, two of the top producing marijuana companies, and they bought them.
Yeah, and I don't see that stopping.
No.
I don't see that stopping. I think that's just going to continue.
Yeah.
So that's the crazy part.
I heard somewhere. I do a lot of a lot of people send me stuff and through the internet and whatever through my emails, and they're going to kind of slow it down a little bit now as far as acquisitions. They're not going to they're still going to make them, I think, but they're not going to go kind of gung ho the way they were going, like the Canamed and the Med, the other acquisition they made. It's just those were massive. Those were massive deals, right? So I think they've already cemented themselves in the industry, and they're just not going to go anywhere. They're like, I don't know how you want to compare. If Canopy Grow is the LeBron James, what is Aurora?
Well, Aurora's probably Kevin Durant. I really like Kevin Durant, and he's taking it to LeBron, and he's about to sweep them right now. And Kevin Durant wants that MVP, and he scored 43 points yesterday. And I think Aurora's Aurora's Kevin Durant, and that's the way I look at it. Aurora is a monster, and Aurora has everything that everybody wants. I mean, they have, like you said, they've partnered with powerhouses. So they've positioned themselves to be number one. There's no way that Canopy can compete with them.
Well, even Canopy's still looking to make acquisitions. I keep hearing that they're interested in this, that, and the other, but they're so far still waiting for them to make more acquisitions. But these two particular companies they're going to knock each other off.
Well, think about what Aurora's done, okay? They've acquired Canamed and Med Relief, two of the biggest producers that are actually making money right now. And then they've acquired Hempco Food and Fibers, which is in the hemp space. And then they've acquired Radiant Technologies, a portion of them, which is in the extraction space. Then they've got a portion of the Green Organic Dutchman, almost 20% of them. So...
and they have an option to even buy more Green Organic Dutchmen. So watch that happen, because I think they're allowed to acquire up to 51% is what I understood. So we will see whether that takes place.
Yeah, I think that would be amazing. So if you see Green Organic Dutchman move, then you can assume that Aurora Cannabis is going to move, because they own a big stake in that company, right?
Yeah,
so
for sure.
There's so many great companies. This is such an exciting time. This is very, very exciting time for investors. Attila, thank you for joining me, man. I'm just excited to see how the markets respond tomorrow. I know that you'll be watching. Let's touch base again tomorrow. Thank you for joining me here on Rich TV Live.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to tomorrow, and always love to be a part of Rich TV Live in the chat group. Awesome.
Hey, man, it's a historic day, man, and we've been in this together, man. We've been walking hand in hand, dealing with this together. So it's just nice to be where we're at, and hopefully we can, get it to the next level.
Yeah, it's still, I'm still kind of in disbelief. I mean, it's incredible. This day, this historic day, I can't say enough how happy I am to see this finally come, and not to mention just for all the patients that need marijuana, but for all the investors who believe in these companies.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's an exciting time, and the markets have been doing well. And now with this catalyst, I can only anticipate they're only going to do better.
Yeah. We had a bit of a sea of red here today, and it was all because of this vote. And I anticipate nothing but green tomorrow. This is what I believe myself personally. I think we're going to see a sea of green tomorrow.
Well, I hope you're right, man. Because you're in. I'm in. Our whole community's in deep in this industry.
Yeah.
So we've been waiting for this. I've been anticipating. We've actually had our own opinions on this, right? You've been saying that you thought that the market was going to start sooner, and I said from the beginning that I thought it was going to happen in the fall. Now we both want it to happen sooner. We've talked about this, but I still believe that in the summertime, typically people go away on vacation and the markets just kind of die. They trade sideways. So,
and I talked to you about this the other day, actually, Rich, and I believe that these guys who are going away on their holidays are taking their laptops with them and are going to continue positioning themselves, especially after today's date, because I believe more and more people, a lot of people jumped out. Remember last year, people panicked. They panic sold. They jumped out. They complained, "Oh, marijuana sucks. I'm never investing in it again." And I think a lot of these people are going to jump right back in again this time. But we learned from last year's lesson, because I did that same thing too. I panic sold. I sold a few stocks, watching them crash, come down, but not this year, because this is just the way marijuana stocks work. And it is somewhat cyclical, right?
Joey Rocket is messaging, and he's, "Hey Joey, how you doing, buddy? Great to have you here, man. It's a historic day here in Canada. Bill C-45 has been passed, so recreational marijuana is now legal in Canada. So it's been passed, the vote of 56-30, and that means the 95-year-old prohibition on recreational cannabis has been lifted, and now Canadians can grow up to 4 plants at their home and have up to, I believe, is it 30 grams on them at all times?"
Yes, it's 1 ounce. They've come up to like 30 grams that you can have on your person at any time without, And here's a little recommendation too. There, when you buy that marijuana and you get it out of that pouch, that government kind of issued pouch that they, without advertising and stuff, just hang on to that, because if you grow your own, just keep putting it into that same bag. Because well, realistically, hey, if you're growing your own, you didn't buy it, but you still, to be legal, it almost seems that you have to have it into some licensed producer's form of whatever packaging that they're going to be using to sell their product. So, and I think if, when it comes to being stocked, and if you have marijuana, they don't want to see it in a baggie, because that kind of suggests black market. But if you have it in one of the licensed producers' packages, as far as they're concerned, you're legal up to an ounce.
Wow. Yeah. It's a great time to be Canadian. This is going to pump so much money into the economy.
Listen, Rich,
it's crazy.
You watch the American investors start sinking money, and like they've already started putting money into this Canadian industry. But you watch the participation from the American side into the Canadian industry now, because the investors over there are going to pour tons of money into this Canadian industry here too, into the shares of a lot of these companies, Radiant Technologies, Namaska. Oh man, the list just goes on.
You know what the crazy part is? Last year we called all the winners. We called Afria, we called Organogram, we called Cannabis Growth Corp, we called Aurora Cannabis, we called MedRelief, we called Abcan, we called HIP, we called Fire, we called the HMMJ ETF, and I believe we were the first, a CBW. So there's 10 right there that we called before anybody else. Now, all of those ran at least 100%. At least 100%. Some of them have run 600, 700%. Okay?
Yeah.
Now, this year, what have I done over the last 2 months? Strategically, what did we do?
We've just been positioning ourselves for this fucking day. Excuse my English. But yeah, we've been positioning ourselves for this day. We've been buying in the red. We've been doing exactly what we should be doing. And, you know, thank God for Rich and your advice to people. I mean, you never really tell people what to do, but, you know, you give them the tools of the gods, and whether you use them or misuse them, that's up to you. But, you know, with the help of Rich TV and your picks, people are going to prosper.
Well, you know what? I call it our picks, man, because a lot of my picks are the same picks you have, and we talk about them, and we have our own community. We have our own WhatsApp group, and we talk about these picks all the time, day and night. We get a lot of opinion, and I think it helps. That was the whole plan, right? When Rich TV Live, this revolution started, it was like, if I could buy stocks and talk to other people, then I wouldn't be buying them alone. Because when you buy them alone, it's scary and it's intimidating and you have doubt. But when you have a community, you can bounce ideas off of, hey guys, you know, I want to buy Ripple. Or hey guys, I want to buy Cannabis Growth Corp. Or hey guys, I want to buy the new IPO, the Green Organic Dutchman. You know, what do you think? Everybody throws their idea in the ring and you get a bunch of, you know, opinions, and it helps you form. It helps.
I love that.
Yeah, and it helps you form your own opinion. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad to have other opinion. But I like to have it because I just like to see what other people might see that I don't see.
Exactly. That's a perfect example of, you know, someone else giving their opinion that you never really kind of thought of. So, you know, you give it a little bit of thought and make your, you know, you can make your decisions based on those opinions, you know, and ultimately all these investments are all ultimately each individual person's choice. So, but regardless, you know, this is a fantastic industry, and I'm just so looking forward to the near future.
Well, I think tomorrow is going to be just monstrous.
I hope it's the start of it. I mentioned that to you before, Rich, and the only reason I felt that this surge in the marijuana industry is going to happen sooner than the fall is only because this historic day that we've been waiting for that finally took place and has finally actually been solidified here, that marijuana is now going to be legalized. So this is what we've all been waiting for.
Well, Attila, thank you, man, for joining me, man. Have yourself a great day. Keep up the great work. Attila, guys, sends me more articles, more news than anybody else on the planet. I'm not just saying that because he's on my show. He truly is the medical marijuana gorilla. He literally gave himself that nickname, and now he has earned it. He is the medical marijuana gorilla. He has brought, honestly, he brought our community Abcan first, which I love Abcan, and I think has ridiculous upside. Hip. He also brought us Fire. So there's been a lot of deals that Attila got in really early, helped us get in, helped our community get in. What are some of the other ones, Attila, before you go?
Oh, I can't even remember. Rich, I've been doing this.
No, the cheap ones. The cheap ones that you're buying right now.
Oh,
I want you to give people,
you know,
give people your cheap ones right now.
Abatis, ATT is the symbol. I really like Abatis. They just had some recent news. And as a matter of fact, they're also into blockchain technology, which I really love. I mean, what better stock could be, you know, being featured on Rich TV than a marijuana stock that also is a blockchain, has a blockchain. I think it's DNAX is the symbol for the blockchain. It's on the TSX venture. So, and I see that's gone up, I think 16% since its IPO. So, you know, and Abatis is associated with that coin, so or for that stock. So, you know, I think Abatis is a great ATT. I really like. Hip is unbelievably cheap right now. I mean, it was even a little cheaper. It's gone up a little today, but it also came back down. But I think it's a great buy. A Hip would be an awesome buy. I don't know what else would.
What's the smart? What's that smart?
Oh yeah, that's the American one. I invested in that. I really liked what they're doing.
What's their symbol?
It's SNCA.
Yes.
Smart Cannabis Corp. It's Smart Cannabis Corporation. SCNA, I think. Yes, SCNA is Smart Cannabis Corp.
And what price is it at? It's at like 6 cents, right?
I bought it at 6 cents. It's hit 7.5, and it's just really starting out. You know, it's going to be based in California. They're building a 1 million square foot facility.
Wow.
And let's face it, yeah, California's already legal.
A 1 million square foot facility at 7 cents, people. Write this one down. SNCA. Who brought this to you first is Attila, the medical marijuana gorilla. Look at this. SCNA. It's SCNA, not SNCA. SCNA.
No, SCNA. Smart Cannabis Corp.
Yeah.
I think I find that a lot of times when I just punch in the company's name, when I Google it, it just comes up and it shows the symbol. But Smart Cannabis Corp, you look it up and you'll see the symbol for it. But it's only in the States too.
I think Rob just made a good point. He said that Aurora Cannabis is, once they start making money, they're just going to start buying up all their own shares. Start buying up their float because they're going to have so much money.
Is that right, eh?
That's a good strategy. I mean, that's what I would do. That's what I would do if I had the money. Just buy back all your shares and just take the price up. It's genius.
Yeah.
And then now you have more value and you own the float, right? So I'm just reading some of the questions here. Rich, the only thing that worries me is that the government will eventually overregulate and overtax the industry and stifle growth. What's your take? From John Fracassini. What do you think about that?
I personally think that, first of all, I can get marijuana cheaper than what the government has stated they want to sell it at. And on top of that price, there's the GST or the harmonized or the HST. They want to add the harmonized sales tax to it. So in some cases, you'll be paying, depending on what product you buy, up to $14 a gram. And just recently, Aurora has just created a new strain, which they say has a 35% THC content, which is going to be sold at an incredible price that I don't think myself personally I would ever pay. I mean, that's the one thing I don't like about the price of this 35% THC. They want $35 a gram for this marijuana. You know, and speaking about that Inuit senator from Inuit, or he actually said that some of the drugs, because it's so isolated, that these people out there are actually paying up to, get this, like $50 a gram to get marijuana up there, right? But wow. I guess people are paying it. You know, people are paying it, and I don't know. I also heard that there was something going up. There was going to be a small producer going up in Nunavut. So I don't know why they would do that. I mean, it's such a cold climate. They said the electricity is going to be cheap, right? So for whoever, you know, whatever company is going to move into that area, I mean, they're going to get cheap electricity to grow their marijuana. But again, you know, they're going even into the isolated areas. So, you know, but again, I don't know. I just want to get back quickly to the Smart Cannabis Corp. I think it's such a great opportunity for people. This is a little bit longer play than the marijuana stock that we talk about. I mean, it's fairly new, but I'll tell you this, you know, California alone, you know this already, Rich. They have a greater population than all of Canada. So I think it's a great play for 6 cents. That's the kind of stock that we dream that we run into and get involved in at such an early point that if they ever reach $2, $3, $4, $5, it's like a 50, 60 bagger, you know, like
that's the type of stuff that's the type of stuff that dreams are made of.
Absolutely, and that's why I love it so, and I'm so glad I got into it at that price. I mean, you know, when I first bought Fire, I think I told you, I mean, I know some people who bought Fire when it was just known as Supreme Pharmaceuticals for like 5 cents, and you know, these guys are laughing even right now. But you know, watch, they're going to be laughing even harder now that this event has taken place here today. And these people who got in there at 5 cents are they're going to be rich. There's no doubt about it. They're going to be rich.
Well, I hope you get rich, my friend. And I hope the people that are watching are getting rich, because here at Rich TV Live, this Rich TV Live revolution that's happening is real. And it's a movement of people that are helping people. And it's a movement of us sharing knowledge and sharing information and giving people the tools of the gods. Whether it's cryptocurrency or medical marijuana stocks, getting into these types of opportunities that can go up 2 times, 4 times, 10 times, 20 times. It's possible. It's happening.
Yeah.
It's happening. It's the Green Organic Dutchman, one of the greatest IPOs of 2018 already.
It was.
Okay.
It was. You know, it caught me off guard, I gotta say. But I'll tell you, I was just blown away with their advancement there and their share price. I mean,
but you know, I can't tell people.
Strong.
You know, I can't tell people to buy, but I bought it. You know, and I bought it day one, and a lot of our members did. So. Congratulations to anybody that did, but the chart on the Green Organic Dutchman is a thing of beauty. I mean,
it's up over 100%, no?
Over 120%.
Yeah, in a month. You know, where do you get that? Where do you know? How do you where else do you get that? And then we're going to see greater gains now. You're going to see some of these companies going up 6, 7, 800% in the course of a year easily. You know. So we're going to see some great gains here now, I think, you know, and some of them even greater than that. So I'm just so looking forward to it.
One of the questions here from no place like New York City is, hey, Rich, I'd like to know your opinion between Kronos Group and Canopy Growth Corp. Which company is more undervalued? I believe that Kronos Group, because of the price, is more undervalued, but because they're on the NASDAQ, which is a short-driven marketplace, they are in trouble. And that is why you're not seeing the price appreciation in Kronos Group, which I'm concerned about. I think that Canopy Growth Corp is...
I would have preferred to see them on the New York Stock Exchange. You know?
Yes, I agree. And, you know, I think that Canopy Growth Corp is just doing all the right things. They're making all the right moves. Positioning themselves on the New York Stock Exchange was genius. CGC, the new symbol, CGC. That was genius. And to be the first, you know?
No, that CEO, he has some vision, I gotta say, you know, that he really knows what he's doing. You couldn't ask for a better CEO.
And what did, you know, I've been calling them since day one. I'm going to write it right here. The LeBron James of medical marijuana stocks.
Yeah.
The LeBron James of MJ stocks. And it's funny, they're called MJ because, you know, that's he's chasing the ghost of Michael Jordan, right? So it's funny that I call him the LeBron James of MJ stocks, and I call Canopy Growth Corp the LeBron James of MJ stocks because he is the biggest and the best and the most consistent player in the NBA all the time, and everybody's trying to beat him. Well, that's exactly what Canopy Growth Corp is. They're the biggest, they're the best, everybody's trying to beat them. Correct?
Oh, for sure. Oh, yeah. Everybody's chasing them.
So until anybody beats them, until anybody knocks them down, they're still number one.
Yeah, and then, you know, unfortunately with this NASDAQ listing with Kronos Group, I still really do like the company. I mean, they've made some very good plays. They're established internationally also. I think Kronos Group for the price. Other than it being on the NASDAQ, I think it's a great stock, but again, yes, there is a concern as to it being on the NASDAQ.
Well, I mean, you could see what's happened since it's gone on the NASDAQ. It's been getting plummeted. You know, it's just plummeted.
Yeah.
You know, so it's...
Well, we'll see what it does tomorrow. Tomorrow might be an interesting day for that because I think this news today, I think, is going to trickle over. Let's face it, it's going to go worldwide. This is a worldwide event. Every country in the world is going to know Canada has legalized recreational marijuana. And it's going to be known worldwide. So I think, you know, American investors just might start really pouring themselves into these stocks now, you know, because now it's a lot of people, a lot of big investors. I think they just wait till the actual federal implementation of recreational marijuana before they all start jumping on that ship, right? So... and I think today was a major hurdle that we've been just waiting for, and I'm just so glad it's here.
It's funny. It looks like Organigram is really breaking out, and Organigram is one that I've been talking about since last year when it was at $1, and now it's almost at $6, and it's been slowly just walking its way up, and it's now at I believe, a 52-week high. So, what do you think about Organigram? You think Organigram's a winner? Because right now it's at a 52-week high. So.
I like it. I like Organigram. So many of them are good. I think a lot of them will fail. But, again, what we're going to start seeing there is the people acquire, a lot of these licensed producers start acquiring some of the smaller ones. But, Organigram, although, they have a good medical kind of marijuana customers, but we'll see what recreational does for them. But they haven't made the kind of moves that I would have liked to seen, the kind of moves like Aurora and Canopy make, and Afria. They've made some big moves. And Organigram, they're just chugging away. They're chugging away. It's not, I'm never going to say it's a bad stock. It's still a good stock, but I just preferably myself, and I would never tell anyone what they should be buying, but I myself, I just like to invest in the more solid companies that are growing and are acquiring, and that's what I look for.
Well, I'm looking at so many, and there's so many, and we watch them all, and we're in on a lot of them, and
I think a lot of the better or greater opportunities for us here now are like these smaller stocks that we were talking about. I see a greater upside for the investors in investing in an ATT, Abatis, HIP, Namaste, or Namaste, however you want to pronounce it. But, these are all these Abcans. These are superbly priced stocks right now. Abcan's, $1.54, $1.53 today. I forget what it closed at. But, Abcan is so well established. I mean, they've got German acquisitions. They're international, and they've got, they're affiliated with Israel. Abcan's going to be one of the top medical marijuana, which is what they really wanted to be from the beginning. I think I've talked to you about that before. It was CBW who actually gave them their money for expansion, and also they wanted to stay medical, but they realized that they had to also participate in the recreational market. So that's what they're doing, and Abcan will be a monster one day.
You mentioned CBW. Now, CBW is a company that I own a lot of shares of. I don't know. Do you own shares of CBW?
I haven't bought CBW. No, I haven't bought CBW, and the only reason why, I like these other companies that are. You see, CBW owns a lot of, or has ownership in some of these, a lot of companies. So what are they up to now? 16? I don't know how many of these companies they've actually have under their belt. But they're all gonna get proceeds from every single one of these companies. It's almost like an ETF. They've invested in so many of these other companies. Even Abcan. They're gonna get a share of the proceeds from whatever Abcan grows from their current facility. So, which is, from what I understand, it's about 20% of what they grow. CBW is going to see the profits from that. So. But I think, and the only reason I haven't invested in them, and that's just my personal opinion, I know it's a great company. I know that when all of these companies that they have under their belt, once they, some of these companies some of them are actually still waiting for their sales license. So, but when all that happens, CBW is just going to be one powerhouse. They're going to have more growing space than any other, as far as all the companies they've accumulated or participated in, they're going to actually have in total more square footage of marijuana that they're going to have getting profit from than Aurora. They're going to have more than 1 million square feet that they're going to benefit from. And you know what? They're not growing a single bit of it.
Paul Luke is
a beautiful thing, right?
Paul Luke is asking, what do you think about the CBW name change? I think a name change is good. Like if you're Cannabis Wheaton Income Corp and that name isn't working for you and you want to brand it something different, you believe it's going to help you with your branding, then absolutely. Like I think Canopy Growth Corp, okay, that name is terrible. Let's be honest.
Yeah, I never liked it to begin with.
But they got.
I like the symbol.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. They got the best symbol on the planet, weed. Like you couldn't get a better symbol than that. So you've got the best symbol in the world. Well, in Canada, anyways, weed. CGC, I'm not in love with that. You know, CGC, but that's Canopy Growth Corp in the U.S., right? I'm not in love with that, but weed in Canada, I think, is the best symbol money could buy. So there's some strategic things that they have done that have really separated themselves because nobody else has that symbol. They own that symbol, weed. I mean, that's perfect. You know, so some of the companies like Fire, I love their symbol. I'm not gonna lie, I think it's a great symbol. Companies like
they went through the name change, and even Hip is going to be going through a name change too.
Yeah.
I mean, which is New Strike Resources, what they and let's face it, we all know that 90% of these marijuana companies, they all used to be some form of resource company. They just got sick of mining and not making any money, so now they're mining marijuana and making a ton of money.
Yeah, it's a pretty crazy day. Attila, thank you for joining me, man. We gotta go. It's time to go. We've been live for an hour and 20 minutes, buddy.
Wow, awesome. All
so,
right, Rich,
thank you, my friend.
So glad to participate.
Are you listening?
Buddy, this is an exciting day, man. Go celebrate. I'm going to celebrate. Everybody go celebrate. This is your boy, Rich, with Attila, the medical marijuana gorilla, breaking the news first. Attila broke the news to me and to our group first. Thanks once again, Attila, man. You're a scholar, my friend.
Thank you, sir. I'm very passionate about this industry, and today I paid a tremendous amount of attention as to what was going on today, and I followed that whole entire process, and when the vote came out, I was just ecstatic. I was just blown away. I had a feeling it was going to be okay, but there is still always that little bit of percentage that it might not go the way we want it to go, but thank God it went the way it did. The vote was overwhelming. I love it. Anyway, Rich, thank you so much for having me on, buddy.
Always a pleasure, buddy.
You know that, buddy.
Always a pleasure, man. Go celebrate. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you, Rich. Have a good night.
Cheers. Wow. This is nuts. It is crazy. We've been live for longer than we've been live in like forever. It's true. And your boy Rich, we broke the news and we broke it first yet again. I know. All right, I'm going to go celebrate. You go celebrate. Let's see what the market does tomorrow. You know your boy Rich, I'll be watching. And if anything crazy happens, I'll bring you the news first. It's true. Need the news? Just go to richtvlive.com. We got it all right there. Everything you need to know in one place. All right. I got to go back to do more research. I got to read the news. Thank you for watching. Please smash that like button. Remember, Rich TV Live is strictly for education and entertainment purposes. We are not licensed advisors. Always do your due diligence. Always do your research before you invest in anything that you see on Rich TV. Now, I know I bring the winners, and I know I bring them first. And it's true. I did bring the green organic Dutchman. Again, before anybody else on the planet, yet another winner. But it doesn't mean that you got to just go and buy it because your boy says so. And yes, I brought the biggest IPO in history of 2018 so far. It's true, I brought it first to you, the people. And I'm going to bring you more winners. So just remember, Smash the like button. It really helps. Subscribe so you get those updates first on these big winners. And have fun and make money, because that's what it's all about. It's a revolution. It's the Rich TV Live revolution. If you're not winning, you're not watching. It's your boy Rich. And I'm out. Peace.